Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced on April 11th that Mexico will immediately send water to Texas farmers under a decades-old water-sharing treaty with the United States. The 1944 treaty, which mandates water deliveries every 5 years, has recently strained relations between the two nations due to Mexico's significant shortfall, having delivered less than 30% of the required amount with just months left in the cycle. US President Donald Trump threatened tariffs or sanctions in response to the non-compliance, citing the impact on Texas agriculture.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Forum Says. So my name is Samantha and I'm a homesteader in South Louisiana. And I grow my own food, raise my own, like corn, dent corn and oats for my chickens and rabbits. And one of the things that I've noticed that the weather has been very erratic over the last couple of years.
Normal rainfall patterns to come back, and it's been so long since we've seen normal. I don't know what normal is anymore. It's either too wet or too dry.
And I am not the only person saying this, folks. So what you just saw was a Texas farmer who raises rice. Now, if you are not aware of this, one of the reasons that President Trump is issuing tariffs and actually looking at redoing our trade alliance with Mexico is the fact that Mexico owes America, specifically Texan farmers, quite a bit of water. In fact, Mexico owes enough water that they would have to give us enough to supply a mid-sized city for 30 years. Let that sink in. That's how much water they owe us. Now, a great question is, why do they owe America water at all? Well, you have to understand the rivers that this treaty is based on. So here's just a quick map for you guys to let you know what area I'm actually talking about. And the way that this works is the water in these different rivers, especially the Rio Grande, are shared between Mexican farmers and Texan farmers. The worst thing about this, and what I really want you to understand is this, is they had the water, they used the water to grow crops to then compete with American farmers. Their food was being imported into America while American farmers could not grow their food because Mexico wouldn't give them the water that they were. So guys, if you don't know already, YouTube demonetized us for speaking truth. So if you look in the top of comments, there's 4 different ways that you can support our channel. We would be so thankful.
In South Texas and American food security. South Texas farmers are facing a crisis due to the Mexican government's failure to honor its water obligation under the 1944 Water Treaty. This neglect has left over 960,000 acre feet of water undelivered, devastating our agriculture sector. The Rio Grande Valley sugar growers, after 50 years, has shut down, taking 500 American jobs with it. Our citrus and our vegetable farmers have seen millions in losses, and row crop yields are down 40%.
Everybody knows it takes water to actually grow food, to raise livestock. That is life, folks. And when you first put a seed into the ground, you have to what? You have to water it. And then as the plant grows, its water needs increase. Now, I garden a little different than most people. I do not till and I heavy mulch. So for me, I really won't have to water my plants, even during droughts here in Southeast Louisiana. Once they get up out the ground and they're about 2 or 3 inches tall, their roots will be deep enough that I will no longer need to supply them with water. They will be able to find water in the soil because it's not evaporating from the sun. I think one of the only ways that we're going to be able to avoid what is coming, and that is complete and utter decimation of our agriculture and livestock businesses, especially in places like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California, Wyoming, is to change the way we farm and we ranch. Too many people are just too comfortable being on a tractor, destroying the earth. And yes, to answer the question you're thinking, there is actually a 2000 acre no-till farm and a 6,000 acre no-till farm, both located in the United States.
Going out of the river and to see the green rice fields.
This is the first time since 2011 the Lower Colorado River Authority has released water downstream for irrigation. Rice is a shallow-rooted crop, meaning it needs lots of water. But until the spring of 2015, water was scarce in Texas. The historic multi-year drought took its toll. Many Texas lakes and rivers dried up, as did Paul's rice fields. He gets most of his water from the nearby Colorado River. But the last few years, there hasn't been enough to go around.
So this is a NASA photo of the Colorado River in 2000. It's basically not even going to the end of its normal route, which would be the Gulf of California. It's stopping in mid-desert, drying up, because too many people are pulling from it. So something that is happening is along the Rio Grande, which is the actual border between the United States and Mexico, you have, especially on the Mexican side, more businesses popping up, more industrial buildings popping up, industries popping up, and towns. It was in the 1990s, 1 out of every 10 Mexican lived in a border state. It is now 1 out of 6. So all the people who live in Mexico, 1 out of 6 of them are going to be located along the Rio Grande, which is putting tremendous pressure on a river that cannot provide enough water, is what I'm trying to tell you in the easiest way that I can. Nor can the Colorado, folks. So what is happening? Mexico is not meeting its treaty demands from the Rio Grande to America. However, they continually ask for water from the Colorado to be brought to them and given to them extra. You know, hey, we need more water, give it to us. And America has always done so. That may be America's downfall, is that for too long we have allowed treaties to go unmatched. We are the country that paid for the UN, the World Health Organization, USAID, and everything else you can imagine. We are that country, and the American taxpayers and the American environment can no longer handle it, folks. We cannot provide water to Mexico when Mexico consistently refuses to provide water to our farmers and ranchers, essentially running them out of business. Guys, this is serious. You want to talk about food security? Stop thinking about tariffs and how that's going to affect you. Start thinking about the neighbors around you growing food and how if they stop, you won't need to worry about imports. If America can't grow food, the whole world's going to crumble. I know that sounds like, oh wow, whatever. It's the truth. We are literally the country that props the entirety of the world up with our economy. It's the truth. And too many of our farmers in Texas are going without water. They're losing their livestock, they're losing their farms, they're losing their businesses, and eventually they lose their land. It's got to stop, guys. So what did President Trump do? He denied Mexico the water request from the Colorado River. Finally, we have an administration that is serious about what they say. So what did the president of Mexico do? She started importing water back to Texas, but it's a little bit too late. The only sugar mill in Texas is now closed. 500 American jobs gone. And this impact is not going to stop. So you want to talk about food prices? Let's really talk about food prices. How is this going to affect food prices in the grocery store? When people discuss tariffs, that's what ifs. This is real life and happening in real time. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, wake people up. And if the Lord leads you so, look at the top of comments and donate. Love you guys.
Right now. Listen to our next topic, which is water scarcity and environmental concerns. And we're not just talking about having to cut back on your lawn watering either. This is about the very essence of living in a rural area. Having enough water for your daily needs, agriculture, and keeping the natural beauty alive. The Texas Hill Country, while yes stunning with its creeks and springs, has been hit hard by drought in the recent years. Farmers and ranchers are the backbone of our area, and they are in a very tight spot. They're having to deal with water restrictions that of course impact crop production and their livestock. It's really a tricky balance. They need the water to sustain their livelihoods, but the resources are dwindling. And after speaking with some of these local farmers and ranchers, they're having to come up with innovative ways to try to conserve water and adapt to these changing conditions.
All right, guys, here it is, October 4th. The Texas drought continues. This is the pond that we've been digging out for the last 2 years. And I want you to look at how much we have actually dug this thing out. And I want you to look at how little water is left in this pond.